Hello everybody, welcome back. Let's have a look at EOS. I know, but we're going to look at it anyway because there's a few things I suppose we can recognise on the chart. So this is EOS versus Tether. We got our golden cross, which was, I suppose, tested before it even crossed, and then tested once again in this giant EOS style dump, which was what looks about 30%. Yeah, from wick to wick, about 34%, and over the last 3 days we've recovered from that. But the important thing isn't so much the cross. I mean, a golden cross, we get these sort of things all the time, and you get dumps into them all the time just to retest its strength. This one doesn't appear to be the strongest golden cross I've ever seen, but we've picked up from it. And so far today we're above this important trend line, which I suppose is give or take about $5.20. This marks the end of what is the accumulation zone down here. We accumulated within this range. This is our first pump rejection back down here. Big pump down up here, back down to retest this zone, and now we're sort of trying to get our way above it. So it's a very slow burn, but every day that we're above $5.20 kind of offers the opportunity to get up to about $7.40, right? So it's not a massive move for EOS, but basically if we get from here to here, and then from here to here, we're basically mimicking the same kind of journey that we took before. Makes more sense when you look at it at a weekly. It's a lot neater and easier to see. So support, resistance, retest support, breakthrough resistance, and back down to what was resistance is now support. Break out up to new resistance, back down to what should have been support but wasn't because the market dumped, and EOS dumped probably harder than anything else. But, you know, in my opinion, we're heading towards the end of a crypto market cycle. There could be a longer one, but as far as I'm concerned, all models, previous models, still fit. So I have to go along with the previous models until they've been proven to be, broken and different. Which would mean that, generally, I would expect the entire market to pump, even EOS. Throughout this next quarter into the beginning of next year, and then we'll see where we are from there, which I would expect that this kind of previous projection should be mimicked. Now we can't really think about it in terms of time frame, but as far as price, I would expect the same supports and resistance to be relevant, and then we'll see what happens when we break above $10.50 if we get to that level. Anyway, so that's not looking too bad. Histograms, I guess, I suppose it's bullish, but it's not the most amazing thing I've ever seen. But if we bring now our attention to the Bitcoin pairing, this is where we've got another fix on it. So we have an upwards trend line of support that's been respected since back here in I suppose June, early July. I mean. And that's been working out so far so good. This is just a support trend line, right? So every time we come down to test it, it seems to hold candle bodies more or less. And just as of today, a few days ago, but we've started to move from it. I won't use the word launch because it's far from it, but we are moving up from it. And it would also appear that the 200 exponential is more or less our resistance. So what we think about here is we've got ourselves a triangle formation if we just move this out. And for those who, I suppose, do basic formations like this, there's not anything to really, I suppose, hold on to dear life for, that this definitely has to happen. But it's a matter of support resistance. Break the resistance, we have a big move. Break support, have a big move. Now, it doesn't mean that we're going to break out or break down. It's just a guide for price, and it's mainly we can get rid of that. It's just giving you an idea of where the apex would be, for this formation to be finished, which should be end of October. This formation would be resolved either to the up or to the down. Now, if we think about where we are in terms of price and moving averages, they are all merging into one. This looks like accumulation to me. That's generally what accumulation looks like. You basically got no edge. You're above them 1 minute, you're below all of them the next minute, above 1 minute, below again, and now we're above them. And basically all the moving averages basically end up being one big technicolor mess, and they're not giving us any sign or signal as to which direction it wants to go until it goes that way, and then the moving averages can be a bit more useful to dictate which how the trend is going to go. You could argue that still maybe the trend is still to the down because we are being rejected from the 200 exponential, and any uptrend really can only really begin until we reclaim a 200 exponential. The histogram is pretty much flat as a pancake, very crap looking, but we do have our first positive tick here, marking essentially, as of today, even though the day's not yet closed, the first bullish cross that we've had in a couple of weeks. And so we'll just have to wait and see. I'm holding on to EOS. I'm not suggesting you buy it. I'm not suggesting anything of the kind. But I am saying that, you know, I hold on to it. I don't hold on to it blindly. I do like the way the chart looks. Reminds me of XRP in a way, even though XRP is definitely a bit more tradable. EOS is way more volatile, but they do share the similar kind of moves. And they are both kind of old coins, dinosaur coins as they're kind of known. And so because of that, I suppose it does make sense that they move in the same kind of way, but they're not in any way correlated. I'm looking for this to break out personally, but like I say, the apex is around November, beginning of November, so we could be in for a very sideways and bumpy and choppy standard, accumulation, but extremely, I suppose, frustrating because it is EOS in the end. September and October, but by November this should have worked out one way or another. In my opinion, it's going to work out to the up, and they are launching the bullish exchange, aren't they? And that bullish exchange is going to be heavily integrated with the EOS token. Whether or not that adds any kind of value to it at all, or it's even a buy the rumor, sell the news kind of event where we end up dumping on the day of release, couldn't tell you. I really couldn't tell you. But what I can tell you is that this does look like an accumulation with an uptrend of support and a downtrend of resistance, and apex will be around November. We'll see how it ends up. Anyway, I'm not saying that this is going to moon immediately, but every time we come down to this trend line on Satoshi value, it is an opportunity for a buy if you've not got it already. Although I'm not your financial advisor, this is completely up to you if you want to make this purchase. And it is EOS is not for the faint-hearted. EOS is frustrating, annoying, disappointing, but you've got to be in it to win it, I suppose. And like I say, I'm sure there's many other altcoins out there that will far exceed the gains that EOS does. But when it comes to a matter of support, resistance, risk to reward, EOS is, well, you at these kind of levels, I suppose you look to risk less than you would with certain other altcoins at this moment in the market. But that's just my opinion. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you have a nice day. Take it easy.